Dirty.
Cramped.
Hot. Delayed.
The seating area is pretty small.
It makes you think twice about flying in and out of LaGuardia.
This is my first trip to LaGuardia and probably my last.
It's no surprise, LaGuardia has its issues.
A famous person once said, and I quote, "If I blindfolded you and took you to LaGuardia Airport in New York, you would think I must be in some third world country." Now, who do you think said that?
The airport was built decades ago, and back then it was state of the art. Now, not so much. Imagine squeezing 13 million people into one terminal that's meant to handle 8 million people.
I took my first airplane flight in 1955 on Mohawk Airlines right out of LaGuardia. The world has changed since 1955, but LaGuardia hasn't.
If the city wants to continue to be a great city, it's got to have great airports.
And it's not just about getting from here to there. It's about jobs and about the economy.
Every year, LaGuardia contributes more than $16 billion in economic activity to the region, generating about 121,000 total jobs and $5.9 billion in annual wages.
So that's why Governor Cuomo came to us with a mission. Create a 21st century LaGuardia Airport on a par with the best in the world. Create an airport of tomorrow, utilizing the most advanced technology, improve public transportation to the airport, reduce delays, and do this while at the same time being a good neighbor to the people of Queens. The panel embraced the governor's challenge and developed specific recommendations. First and foremost, stop piecemeal development. Create an entirely new facility. Build a new, single, unified terminal running adjacent to the Grand Central Parkway. Ensure top-of-the-line shopping and dining and add business meeting facilities. There is the capacity to build a hotel on site of approximately 200 rooms. The terminal should have an appealing and welcoming central arrivals and departures hall in addition to entrances for individual airlines. It should be an architecturally significant public space. The runway configuration will remain the same, avoiding lengthy delays from the studies and approvals that would be necessary if the runways moved. One of the most important changes is the movement of all the terminal buildings, approximately 600 feet closer to the Grand Central Parkway. This change will create nearly 2 miles of additional space for aircraft taxiways, enabling vastly improved plane movement, which will reduce LaGuardia's infamous gate delays. New parking garages should be seamlessly incorporated into the new facility. The panel endorses the governor's call for improved public transportation access to the airport. This includes an air train system to connect the airport to Willets Point and should enable access to the Marine Air Terminal. The panel also recommends a new high-speed ferry service to the airport. The Marine Air Terminal, which is a historic landmark, should continue its role of serving 1 million passengers a year. The panel also calls for an on-site automated tram to move passengers more quickly within the terminal. So what are the next steps? The panel presented its vision to the Port Authority Board earlier this year. In May, the board endorsed moving forward with a $4 billion public-private partnership that will build the western half of the new unified terminal. The consortium that will build and operate this portion of the airport includes the best of the best: Vantage Airport Group, Skanska, Walsh Construction, Meridian, HOK, Parsons Brinkerhoff. Within the last few weeks, I presented the panel's vision to Delta. Delta has embraced our recommendations. It is committed to redevelop its terminals at the eastern end of the airport and work with us to complete the panel's vision of a single unified terminal. Actual construction by the consortium of its part of the new unified terminal is slated to begin in the first part of 2016, following final approval by the Port Authority Board. Most of their projects should be open to passengers in a little over 3 years from the start of construction, with full completion within 18 months after that. Delta has declared its desire to move forward with construction on a parallel track. The airport will continue to operate during construction. An estimated 8,000 jobs will be created by the public-private partnership, and even more when you include Delta's project. One last point. I've worked with dozens of states and local governments. This is the first time I have ever had to say to my government partners, slow down. On behalf of the advisory panel, I want to thank the Port Authority and the Port Chairman for working with us so professionally. And I want to thank the Governor for his leadership and support. For me, this has been an engaging and rewarding experience. This is our vision. This is Governor Cuomo's vision. This is reimagining New York.